Alright, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another update. So I'm going to give you guys an update on the 175 here. The other frag tank is cycling. It's 1 month into the cycle, so it has about another month-ish. I think I'm going to start adding in livestock to kind of keep the ammonia going on that tank, but we'll wait to do an update on that tank. It's just really just stagnant in that tank, but there's been a lot of changes in this tank, so I want to give you guys an update on what's going on in this tank. So we'll start with the livestock since we're in the blue light mode, and then we'll switch lights to kind of see other stuff. But it's better to see the corals in here anyways, and I have the lens in place already. So let's start on this side first. Monty is starting to grow really nicely. It's starting to do like one of those Monty cap where it's like growing upwards, which is awesome. I like that. I like the different dimensions that it's starting to do. These digis have fallen from the top, and I removed a couple of them because we've added a couple new corals. Yes, I am giving acroporals another go. I did fail a couple times, last year and whatnot, but I think that the tank is a little bit more stable now. And so I'm gonna give them another try, even though my nutrients is a little bit higher than I would like it to be. But it is what it is, and we'll see how these turn out. So we do have a couple new acro pieces. We have one there and one here. I won't go through the names specifically because honestly, like if it dies the next week here, it's just gonna be like whatever, right? But the digis are basically overtaking everything. So these two, I took that chunk there and this chunk down here, and I'm probably going to trade it or sell it or something like that because I have way too many digis, and they're all on the green side. There's a couple that has a little bit of red. Like the main colony is back there with some red. But a lot of these were just like frag sticks of like the green, and I just kind of stuck it in there just for fun. Like that piece right there is like red, but red and green, I mean. We'll probably slowly take these out and replace them with Acros or something else as, some of these look better maybe. Or if, they start to grow a little bit more, I'll start, making like mini colonies of each one. But that's the plan. I don't think these digis are going to stay here permanently. I might have a mother colony like that where it just sits in the back or something like that. But these guys grow way too fast, and I'll probably replace them slowly with Acroporal is the future plan if it does well in the tank. A couple new Acros on this side. We have a couple more on this side here. They're looking pretty good color-wise, but the polyp extension isn't quite there. And again, I know it's because of the nutrient level in the tank. And so we're just trying to figure out how to keep them alive and keep them growing, even if it's really, really slow. I did mention in the last video or a couple videos ago that I'm going to add in some replacement nems. That is the Nexus nem, where it's like split 50-50. Well, that's not really 50-50, it looks more like a quarter. And we also have a Black Widow nem that's back in this corner here, or it's behind this rock where you can't even see, but the clownfish are hosting that one right now. Going in the front here, we do have a couple new mushrooms. It looks kind of pretty cool, right? It's like a twist, a little twist to it. It's a Rapunzel bounce mushroom. I've never seen one of those before, but that's a baby, or that's kind of like the mother. Well, that's the mother, and that's a slightly big one, so they look kind of cool. The flash bounce is looking okay. This is the CK, the Cali Kid mushroom here, the magic carpet. It's starting to grow a little bit. It's a little bit slow. This is the wild flash bounce ish. This is the wild flash bounce mushroom that I had. It's kind of retracted a little bit. The tank's been kind of going up and down, but we're just trying to keep things stable and let things recover. This is the OG bounce. It's just been shriveled up for a while, so we'll see what happens there. This is some chalices that survived or that aren't getting picked by the angels, which is kind of crazy. So this one I got like for free, and it was like really dull, like basically bleached, and then like slowly it's getting its color back. It looks pretty cool. This one is the Miami Hurricane one, or the Miami one. Yeah, it's Miami Hurricane one, and it's starting to come back. This one got pecked at a couple of times by the angel when I first threw it in there, but it's starting to come back. The torch, yeah, the torches aren't doing too well in my tank, but I mean, this is the only surviving torch. This is looking pretty good, and this side has been replaced with some more Acros. So we got 1, 2, and then 3 up front here. So hopefully they do well. They've been doing pretty decently, you know. It's been a couple weeks now. It's probably been like about a month-ish since I've had them. I slowly acclimate them to the light, and this is actually a Walt Disney. This is actually one of my favorite ones that I was trying to get going. And then look at the little polyps starting to come out. But what I did was I had them all in, like, you know, they came in frag plugs. I had them in the sump, acclimated to the light for about a week to 2 weeks, and then, you know, I moved them up here, and it looks like it's doing pretty good. So yeah, here's another new one, Acro. We got one over there. There's the chalice, another chalice. This is the Goldmeister, and then we got the same Rapunzel bounce mushroom back here. So there's like 3 of them up here. I'm basically trying to keep anything that can survive the angelfish's pecking up in here, and so a lot of things are up here. So I actually tried this rainbow here that I kind of just threw together from different frag pieces, and it got pecked to almost to like death, and then like they just left it alone afterwards. So I think that there's a certain like time where like they'll peck at it, and then they just kind of leave it alone because they're like, I'm bored. Same thing with this, like all the new all the new like chalices I added in there, they would have like a bunch of bite marks, and then next couple days it's kind of just leave it alone because like, yeah, I'm bored. So it seems like that might be the way to add in chalices up here, like probably any chalice. Get them to a decent size, about like, you know, something like this. Let them peck at it, and then from there they will just leave it alone, you know. And then up here, this is probably the main reason why I decided to add in more Acros, is because of this green slimer. Yes, I know the green slimer is more, it's easier to care for. It literally can't die, and this thing is proof of it, right? Like it melted back for me and it came back to life. And slowly, it's getting greener, and now it's starting to branch upwards. So that gave me a good sign in, like, you know, polyps are really nice in this guy here too. It's right next to a flow, and it's like at higher par. But this gave me the confidence to add in some more Acros, because, you know, this guy here came back from the dead and starting to grow pretty nicely. It's not growing fast because of the nutrients in the tank, but it's growing. So if all the other Acros can grow slow and thrive and survive, I think that we might be able to grow Acro in this tank. So that is the plan, and we have another Acro here that's tucked in there. And then we have a couple more pieces back here that fell, and I just kind of kept it there. This is supposed to be a chalice piece here, but it got tipped over. I'm probably gonna have to cut the plug and just glue it onto something. Here is the flash bounce. This is the mother, and I cut the one that's over on the other side. I cut that one in half, and that's now growing to be back to the mother size, and it's looking really nice. The colors and everything, it's like really nice now. The magic carpets are looking like they want to split. This is actually 2. This one's trying to like pull itself apart. This is the sunrise mushroom here. They're looking good, and I just have the 3. And then, but yeah, pretty much that is it in terms of the corals up here. The fish, we will come back to them in a little bit here. Once we do, we turn on the lights, we can actually see them a little bit better. Alrighty, so let's continue with the coral updates by going down to the sump. Is this light on? Oh boy, we have an issue here. It looks like it might be a power supply issue. We'll see here in a little bit. Normally with the red blinking thing here, it's normally a power supply issue, so give me a second. Alright, so I just did a flipperoo on the power supply there. I think it might be a power supply issue, and I do have an extra power supply, so I might have to swap it out in a little bit. We'll have to take a look at the power supply for this. So until then, or it could be the unit itself. If it's the unit itself, then we'll have to do some swapperoos and get this thing going again. But until then, here are some of the corals. Again, I probably don't want to go through every new piece because there's a lot of new pieces in here. A lot of new chalices, a lot of new mushrooms that I picked up on some sale and whatnot. So you guys can kind of take a look here. Tons of cool chalices, tons of mushroom, the bounce mushroom here. What's funny about this mushroom is you see the little bounces on there? two of the biggest balls that it had in here, it's not on there anymore, but it like fell out, or like the clownfish like attacked it or something. But now, like you see here, that's one of the ball, the bounce ball. Now it's probably going to turn into a mushroom, and that's the other ball right there that's down there. So that's interesting that it fell off, or the clownfish like somehow like attacked it, and now it's down there somewhere. So we'll kind of go over some of the new stuff, and it's actually all down here anyways, and we'll go back to the fish. I added a new skimmer. I went with the Ultra Reef. This is the 180, the DC version. So I really like it. It's really like, it's built like a tank. It weighs a ton, and it skims very, very nicely. And I basically dump it once a week, and then it gets about, you know, to about here ish, maybe a little bit lower, once a week. So it skims really well. It does its thing. And this was one of my ways that I was trying to reduce phosphates, was through macroalgae, but the macroalgae is not quite working. I still have some in the back there with this light, and I might, you know, go away with that completely and just do like some just mechanical filter, just because it's not growing as fast as I'd like it to, and I might actually put some in here, in the main one here, to kind of just grow once we can move some stuff to the frag tank. But this was one way to reduce the phosphate numbers. And you know, my phosphate numbers were pretty dang high before without this, and it was like at like 0.6, 0.7 or something like that. And even with all the water changes that I do, it really couldn't keep the numbers down. I have like tons of like GFO as well, and it would basically, like, even with the GFO, it will keep it around like 0.5 or whatever. But ever since I've added the skimmer, it has GFO as well. It's been hovering around like anywhere from 0.3 to 0.4. Obviously it's not taking it all the way down, but it's at a much better level than what it was, and that's probably why it's contributing to some of the slower growth in the Acros. But that's okay, as long as things are growing and, you know, things are doing well, I'm happy with that. I also like to keep phosphates a little bit higher, because there's a lot more mushrooms in the tank and a lot more softies, and so I like to kind of aim for like 0.1, 0.2, but most likely it's not going to happen with this tank with the bioload in the tank. Some of the bioload might go away in a little bit once I have the frag tank, because I'm going to move some of the fish, but it's not going to move much. And also what's new is I'm dosing live phytoplankton into the tank. So this is that drip line right here that I have, that is ran through over and across on the other side, that is dripping live phytoplankton basically every day, and it gets replenished once a week when I try to grow it out. I'll show you the grow out in a little bit. It's just in a couple jars that's growing out. All right, so here we go. We are out in the garage actually making these. And so here's the phytoplankton. It literally is just on one of these LEDs that I had for the freshwater. I just put it, you know, this way, and it just shines towards the jars. The reason why I don't have these other ones up and running is because I don't use that much right now. I only use about a half a gallon of phytoplankton for the big tank, and I might use a little bit more once I start dosing the frag tank. But yeah, it is not needed. And so this is only about 1 day in, so it's not as green, right? It still has about 6 more days before I actually cultivate it and everything. And with the way it's looking right now, it's looking pretty green, looking pretty good. There's two different types. This is like a nano, and this is a tetra. I'm gonna have one more, the ISO, that's coming in, that I'm gonna try to grow. But pretty much, I am feeding phytoplankton, and it's looking pretty good on the reef tank. It's just a source for the clams, the corals, and just basically anything and everything in that reef tank. Really loves this, and I've been doing this for since May, mid-May, and things are looking pretty good. All right, I quickly swapped the lights to 10K, so that way you can kind of see the fish a little bit better. It's basically white light. You can see the colors and the fish are amazing. No new addition to the fish, no new real livestock or anything like that. This one kind of looks like it's bleached now. some of the Acros when it arrived didn't look too hot. So we'll see what what we can do. But the fish are looking good. They're looking healthy. We did have some fighting, I think last week, where a couple of them got beat up pretty bad. I mean, they're just fighting in between each other, and it had like a side effect. I mean, like a small like infection or some sort of outbreak, and so I had to turn on the UV sterilizer for a little bit to kind of kill anything that was trying to develop there, and things are looking a little bit better. I mean, there's always going to be aggression, there are always going to be wounds, and we're just going to try to keep it to a minimal. And as this fish here, as this angel gets bigger, he's getting a lot bigger. I think he's getting meaner, and I think that these other ones aren't going to be able to keep up with him. Like when he was smaller, super shy in the back there, but this blue face is starting to get mean, and also because this Regal is getting scared because like he is getting about the same size as them soon here. So Regal's not going to get much bigger. I mean, he's going to get a little bit bigger than what he is, but the blue face is going to get pretty big here in a little bit, and I think he's going to they're going to have some pecking order rearrangement. Also forgot to mention that I did end up getting new gyres. So these are the same models, but it's just the Cloud Edition. Instead of having just one, you can change these individually. The main reason why I changed it was one of my thing was having an issue where it was basically causing some rust. It was scratching the impeller and it was causing some rust, and I noticed that some of the zinc levels in the tank was shooting up, and that was because of the impeller here being scratched up. Now I did replace just the impeller, and it seemed like it was the motor that had like this weird groove in it that was scratching the new impeller too. So I ended up just replacing the whole thing. And then on the other side, the other old model worked just fine in here, but I was kind of worried that eventually down the road you might have the same issue. And also the newer one, for whatever reason, it's way like stronger in terms of the flow. I know that's new and the flow kind of dies over time, but like it just seemed a lot stronger than the older model. So I went ahead and just upgraded both of them just to kind of match a little bit. And so far it's looking pretty good, but we'll see how long it lasts, I guess. That's another new thing with the tank. All right, and that is the update for the tank. If you guys aren't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe, and like always, till next time guys, peace.